Now, Russia carried out a massive attack on Kiev after pummeling Kharkiv and pushing Ukraine on edge.
Did Putin just lose control of his military, or was he lying all along? Just 2 hours after agreeing to stop attacking Ukraine's energy infrastructure,
the death toll has risen to 19 in the last 2 days. Our next report shows you the moment Russia shattered Ukraine's capital and the aftermath.
Russia sent 150 drones straight at Ukrainian targets, hospitals, power plants, civilian homes. Putin says that he gave the order to stop.
Противостоит колоссальной внешней угрозе.
But Ukraine has proof that Russia never did. And here's the real shocker. This ceasefire was brokered by Trump.
And with Ukraine, they've agreed for a ceasefire if we can get it with Russia. And it's not easy.
The same Trump who's now been caught in a diplomatic mess.
He broke this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it.
So what's going on? Who's lying, and what does this mean for Ukraine and the rest of the world? Let's break it all down.
In principle, he supports the idea of a 30-day ceasefire in the war with Ukraine. It's pretty clear he'll want any truce to be on his terms.
So just hours after Putin promised to stop attacks, Russian drones hit Ukraine's power grid again. Ukraine counted 150 drones, 4 S-300 missiles, 2 Iskander ballistic missiles, all were fired at civilian targets. A hospital in Sumy was hit. Doctors and patients rushed to underground shelters. 147 sick people, many of them elderly, had to be evacuated. It wasn't just one hospital. Russia attacked homes, railroads, farms, even emergency response centers. First responders trying to save lives were targeted themselves. Yet, Putin still insists he ordered a ceasefire. His excuse: the attacks happened before my order. But here's the problem. Ukraine has real-time proof, video evidence, satellite images, burnt out buildings, missile fragments with fresh timestamps. This isn't just about Russia breaking a deal. It's about whether Putin has lost control over his own military, or if he was lying from the start. Neither answer is good news for the world. And Ukraine isn't waiting for explanations. They've already strengthened air defenses and called for more Western support. Zelensky's advisors say they expected this betrayal. They just didn't think it would happen so soon. Meanwhile, civilians are the ones paying the price. Power outages spread across multiple cities. Families spent the night in freezing temperatures, unsure if more missiles were coming. Now, this isn't a ceasefire. It's just another chapter in Russia's brutal war.
Accept the ceasefire, start negotiations, and end the war.
President Zelensky isn't buying it. When asked if he believed Putin's ceasefire order, he responded bluntly, "Words are not enough."
He is actually preparing a refusal as of now. Putin, of course, is afraid to say directly to President Trump that he wants to continue this war.
And why should Ukraine trust Russia? Every promise Putin has made in this war, well, it's been broken. Zelensky demands real action, a system to verify Russia's compliance, and a list of protected civilian sites that must not be touched. Ukraine isn't asking for much, just for Russia to stop bombing houses, schools and power plants. Yet, just hours after Putin's so-called order, Ukraine saw missiles raining down on their cities. Zelensky knows this ceasefire isn't real. He's preparing for more attacks. Ukraine's military has already responded. New air defense systems have been deployed, and soldiers, well, they're reinforcing key positions. The government is securing more Western weapons and funding. Officials are also calling on the international community to act.
Today we made an offer that the Ukrainians have accepted, which is to enter into a ceasefire and into immediate negotiations to end this conflict in a way that's enduring and sustainable and accounts for their interests, their security, their ability to prosper as a nation.
They want stronger sanctions, more military aid, and an official designation of Russia as a terrorist state. Zelensky is making one thing clear: Ukraine won't stop defending itself. Western leaders are watching closely. Some are hesitant to send more aid, worried about escalation, but Ukraine argues that allowing Russia to keep attacking without consequences will only make things worse. This war isn't just about Ukraine, it's about stopping aggression before it spreads. For now, Ukraine keeps fighting, not because they want to, but they have no choice. Now here's where things get messy. This ceasefire wasn't just a random announcement. Trump himself helped broker it.
They've agreed for a ceasefire if we can get it with Russia, and it's not easy.
The White House and Kremlin realize their own versions of the agreement, and they don't match. The US says both sides agreed to stop targeting energy and civilian infrastructure. But Russia's version, well, it only mentions Trump proposing it, not agreeing to it. Trump later denied that military aid to Ukraine was ever part of the discussion, but Russia claims aid must stop for peace to happen. So, did Trump get played, or is Russia twisting the deal to justify more attacks? The fallout is already evident. The US now looks weak, and Putin, well, he seems to be able to break deals without consequences. Ukraine never trusted this deal from the start. Officials warned Russia would exploit any agreement to regroup and prepare for more attacks. And that's precisely what happened. While Trump hoped to claim a diplomatic victory, the reality is different. His deal is crumbling before the world's eyes. Now, the pressure is back on the US government. Will they double down on supporting Ukraine, or will they try to renegotiate with a Russia that has no intention of keeping its word? For Ukraine, there's no time to wait. The war continues, ceasefire or not. Putin's track record of deceit is well documented. In 1999, he insisted Russia has no interest in Crimea, yet by 2014, he'd orchestrated its invasion and annexation, a clear contradiction on his own words. Fast forward to February 2022, when Putin claimed there was no plans to invade Ukraine. Just days later, Russian tanks were crossing the border, launching a full-scale invasion that shocked the world. Now, Putin claims he ordered a ceasefire in Ukraine, but the reality tells a different story. Russian forces continue to target civilian infrastructure, hitting homes, hospitals, and schools. This pattern isn't about broken promises, it's about Russia's larger, longer-standing agenda, the complete subjection of Ukraine. Putin's fundamental objective is not peace but control. Control over Ukraine's land, resources and strategic position in Europe. Kremlin-controlled media spin the narrative, claiming Ukraine must surrender its weapons and stop receiving international aid for peace to prevail. But this is hypocrisy at its finest. Russia, meanwhile, continues to receive support from countries like Iran, China, and North Korea, proving that its demands are one-sided and, well, just unreasonable. Putin's strategy is simple. Create conditions where Ukraine's refusal to comply with his demands can be painted as a refusal for peace, all while continuing to press forward with aggression. If Ukraine resists, Putin can use this as justification to escalate the war further. The world sees this. Ukraine is not the aggressor. It's fighting to preserve its sovereignty. As long as Russia's ambitions remain unchecked, Ukraine will continue to face relentless attacks. Now the question is, how long will the world allow this to continue? The so-called ceasefire is nothing but a facade. Putin's military either ignored his orders or he never gave one in the first place. Trump's deal, which was supposed to bring peace, is falling apart, and Russia is using the situation to justify further attacks on Ukraine. Ukraine knows peace won't come from empty promises and brokered agreements. It's about survival and diplomacy. The US must act decisively to support Ukraine, or Russia will continue pushing forward with its aggressive tactics, leaving Ukraine to suffer the consequences. The longer the world waits to intervene, the more assertive Russia becomes, and the more lives will be lost. Ukraine is fighting for its future with higher stakes than ever. It's crucial that we stay informed, stay engaged, and hold our leaders accountable for their actions. This conflict isn't just about Ukraine. It's about the future of global security and the world's ability to stand up to aggression. We all have a role to play in this fight for peace and justice. Stay tuned for more updates as this story continues to unfold.